friends, grab your water. I am super excited to share my month 4 results with you. Woohoo! We hit month 4. Month 4. This was my second month on the 10 milligram of Mounjaro, and it went just perfectly. All the side effects that I experienced from the 10 milligram in December have completely gone away. Very excited to not be having any more side effects from the Mounjaro. Not saying that some side effects won't come back when I bump up to the 12.5, but this month it was just such a relief to not have to go through any of that. I'd like to do a recap of my goals for January. In the first section for food, the first goal was 48 ounces of water, and just did really well with this goal. It is one of my focuses, and I was able to get back on track, hitting 48 ounces consistently. So I think it's time to bump that up. On the other food goals, which were the plan and prep, hitting 100 grams of protein per day, and also tracking every day in MyFitnessPal. The first half of the month, I really wasn't doing very well with that at all. Pretty much with any of those goals. I was still losing weight, but I knew I needed to get my focus back on really starting to watch that, because as I lose more weight, it's going to be harder and harder to continue to lose weight. And so I know that it's going to be really important to be doing that tracking and prepping and really watching my calories and protein. So I put a lot more focus on it the last 2 weeks of the month and was really able to improve. I signed up with an app called Macro Friendly Foods, which I talked about in my last video, and I'll link that for you guys if you're interested. It's a super great app. Most of their recipes are high in protein, and they give you all the macros for it. It's been such a blessing to me these last couple weeks, and has really made meal prep and also hitting that protein goal much easier, and the food is just really good. I've been super impressed with pretty much everything that I've made. I do currently have a coupon code. If you guys want to check it out, I'll link it below. Go check out the app. One thing I will say is that if you just want to test it out for a month or sign up for the 3-month, is to go ahead and subscribe. Then it'll charge you. Use that coupon code. And then right after you sign up, go ahead and cancel the membership. So that way, when it's time for the auto renewal, it doesn't just automatically recharge you, and you can make that more conscious decision on whether it was beneficial to you or not. Because the last thing I want you guys to do is sign up for something, end up not using it, and kind of forget about it and have it continually recharging you. The next section was movement, and I had my goal of walking 3 times a week, going to the gym and doing strength training once a week, and then also getting my heart rate up into the cardio zone when I'm doing my walks. So the movement goal was a big focus of mine for January, and I pretty much nailed it. If you take all my walks and workouts, there were 13 of them in the month of January, because on my gym workout days, I do the 1 mile walk before I actually do the strength training. So 13, and I only missed 1 of my walks this month, which equals 92%. Super excited. That's an A in my book. Really happy with that. Like I said, it was a main focus of mine, and I really feel that it is building into a habit. And the reason that I feel that way is because even on days where I'm like, I don't want to go walk, or I don't want to go to the gym, then I'm doing it anyway. The last section was routines and habits, and this was kind of a 50-50 split. So high 5 habit that I was working on, and the 5-second rule habit, I did not do at all. I think I was trying to kind of do them the first week, and then it completely went by the wayside. I completely forgot about it. It wasn't a focus at all. But the last 2 goals, of getting 7 hours of sleep per night and wearing my CPAP every night went really well. So for hitting 7 hours of sleep per night, I hit 22 out of the 31 days, and wearing the CPAP, I hit 23 out of the 31 days. So both of those are in the 70%. It is something that I want to continue to focus on. I'd like to especially improve with hitting 7 hours of sleep per night. I definitely feel like I could do better. As far as the CPAP, I think what brought my number down is the first week I wasn't super focused on it like I was the rest of the month. My weigh-in results for this week, I was down 5.6 pounds. That is the most that I have ever lost in a week. I definitely think that meal planning and tracking and protein really paid off this week, and noticing a huge difference by being a lot more conscious of what I'm putting in my body and making decisions ahead of time so that I'm not eating out near as often. It's just going so well. Give myself a little pat on the back here. I think it's important to acknowledge when you're doing really well and congratulate yourself. I don't want to focus on like treating myself. So I just want to really celebrate those wins when I'm doing something really well. That'll give me the motivation to want to continue. My total loss for this month was 12.2 pounds. That's a really great number, better than last month, which is to be expected because there were no holidays or anything like that. So yeah, I just definitely see so much progress this month, and I think that a lot of that has to do with setting those goals and having a focus and holding myself accountable. My total weight loss so far is 48.4 pounds. I'm so close to that 50 mark, and I really would like to hit it by my birthday. So that's like a mini goal of mine. Here are my measurements for this month and how many inches I'm down in each of the body measurements. Seeing some really good progress here, and I can definitely tell in the way that my clothes are fitting. I also have my side-by-side comparison. I have the pictures from the end of December compared to the pictures from the end of January. I see a little bit of difference. I also have the pictures from the beginning of my weight loss journey to now, and I see some pretty major differences. It's just so exciting to start seeing those changes. I wanted to take a moment to go over some of the non-scale victories that I've had this month. The first one is that I dropped clothing sizes. So in my tops, I went from a 4X down to a 3X. And in my bottoms, I went from a size 22 down to a size 20. I had still all my 3Xs from before, so I haven't gone out and purchased any new clothes. I had a bunch of stuff packed in bins, and I went through all that and pulled out a bunch of stuff. This top is one of them. It's a 3X, and it's like already getting like big in the arms. There's room in the arms, whereas before, like, to go like this or anything, it was just super tight. Even the 3Xs, I have extra room. It's not like I'm just barely fitting into them. There's extra room where I'm able to even take jackets and layer them on top of each other, which has been nice because I'm cold like all the time pretty much. I guess that is a side effect from the Mounjaro. I've been wearing a lot more scarves lately because I feel like my neck and chin have thinned out so much, and to me they just look so much better than they did before. Speaking of, I put on this necklace. I don't know if you guys remember, if you were following my channel from, I think it might have been the second video, I had bought this necklace and it was very, very tight fitting. So like this tightest layer was fitting really tightly around my neck, and I thought it would be fun to put this necklace on and then compare it. And I kind of forgot about it and haven't compared it since, but that is from the beginning of my journey, and this is 4 weeks in, so I'll stick in a clip from my previous video. I definitely think that it is hanging lower than it was before, and it's not near as tight fittings. That's just another fun thing to look at and to compare and see the different changes. I'm not married, so I don't have like a wedding ring that's getting looser or anything like that. Maybe one day, hint hint to my boyfriend that never watches these videos. Anyway, so yeah, that's fun. Another non-scale victory is we've gone out to eat a couple of times, and my boyfriend always prefers to sit in a booth. He finds them more comfortable than sitting in a chair at a table. And the last year or so, I've gotten really uncomfortable sitting at the booths because you just never know how wide they're gonna be. So anyway, we've gone out to eat and I've been able to slide it into the booths, and I have not had one yet that has like pushed into my stomach. I don't know, it's just such a relief to be able to slide into the booth and not have to worry about like sucking it in to slide in and then being uncomfortable because my belly's like up against the side of the table. Along those same lines, going out into public places and sitting in like waiting chairs and what have you, I'm able to sit in them and I'm still touching the sides of the chair, but I'm not, you know how like when you get up and it kind of like tugs? If you know, then you'll know. But I've never gotten stuck in one, but I have had to like put my hands to kind of, you know, make sure that I wouldn't get stuck in it, I guess. And so now I sit in them and get up, and there are no issues with it catching anymore. I'm just able to get in and out of them. So it's those things, especially I think when you're out in public, it can just be so embarrassing and humiliating. Anyway, I'm sure I'm forgetting about other non-scale victories because it feels recently like there have been quite a few of them. Like I said, take time to acknowledge those when you have them. Give yourself pats on the back, high fives, yeah, high five. And be your own cheerleader. I just think it's so important to cheer yourself on and keep up the motivation. Last but not least, my goals for February. So my food goals are pretty much the same as they were for January. The only difference that I'm making is because I've been consistently hitting the 48 ounces of water, I want to bump that up by 8 more ounces. So I've moved it from 48 to 56 ounces of water per day. I feel confident that I will be able to achieve that and just keep building it up from there. The rest of my food goals have stayed the same because, like I said, in January, it was really just the last couple of weeks that I was really on top of it and doing those things consistently. So I want to continue to really focus on those, make it a habit and something that I can stick with. My movement goals for this week, still want to do the 1 mile walk 3 times a week, but I am going to up my strength training from 1 time a week to 2 times a week. I spoke with my co-pilot coach, and the plan is to do 1 bodyweight strength training at home during the week, and then my second one on Saturdays at the gym. The other goal that I want to work on this month for movement is to start stretching every night. I have noticed that with working out and the increased activity, I can feel my muscles getting tighter, and I definitely just need to start stretching more. I'm also having some pain issues in my hip, and my knee is starting to bother me a little bit more. I think it's just me trying to increase the intensity with my walks to get my heart rate up, but I've been increasing both the incline and the speed on the treadmill, and after about maybe like a week of doing that, I definitely started feeling it in my knee and also in my hip. I'm really hoping that I want to focus on doing it every night, but even if I can't hit that, right now I'm only really stretching 1 day a week, and that is after my workouts. the strength training workouts, but I think it'll be really beneficial adding that in. The last area of focus is routines and habits. I want to try again on doing the high five habit and also on the 5-second rule to cut down on procrastination. I think when I have all these goals that I'm working on, what I found anyway for January was I kind of had picked a couple initially that I really wanted to focus on and started doing those really well. And then like the second half of the month, I started focusing on the food and stuff more. I kind of expect that to continue. I think with the new goals that I have as far as upping the water, that's not really gonna take too much focus to do because it's only 8 more ounces of water. So if anything, I can just drink the 8 ounces like right before bed. And then same with the meal planning and what have you. Then like focusing on something that I haven't been doing before, I'm hoping to put more focus this month on the plans and routines, but I don't want to start regressing on anything that I have been doing. So if I notice that that starts to happen, I think that I'll start to cut back a little bit, but we'll just, play with it and see how it goes. I also really want to incorporate a house cleaning habit for myself, or a routine. I'm kind of bad about letting things pile up and then spending a couple hours doing it. So, or like laundry, I'll let the laundry build up and then I'll spend one day of the weekend just like putting load after load through. And so I'd really like to build a routine so that I'm not doing that. Or like same thing with the dishes. They build up in the sink and then, I spend however much time and wash them all and fill up the dishwasher when we're running out of silverware. So anyway, it's just a process and I want to work on it. And then lastly, of course, is just the sleep and the CPAP. I think more focus is going to be put on the sleep and hitting that 7 hours consistently every single night. I think that's going to include going to bed a little bit earlier than I have been. That's pretty much it. I think that that's the biggest issue. I had so many good things happen and new experiences. I don't know if you saw my interview with man on the Mounjaro, or as I like to call him, the Mounjaro Rocketeer. But that was so much fun to do that with him. I'll also link that video. I'm so appreciative for all of you following along on my journey. I hope that you'll like, subscribe, and comment below, and we'll see you next week. Bye.